It's the weekend, it's Mailbag. I am joined this week by Warren, Sam, and making his debut, the Good Time Podcast's very own Liam. We've done all the preamble before we started recording, so I won't ask him what anyone is because I know everyone's sound. We'll go straight into it with the hot topic. Got a lot of questions to get through, so hot topic. What's your favourite ever cup game? Liam, I will come to you first on this.
Yeah, it's a very good question, this. I was actually thinking about it, and I'm going to go for Sunderland away in 2012. I was fortunate enough to go, and it was brilliant. The atmosphere was fantastic, and the celebrations when David Vaughan scored that own goal. It's hilarious because it's one of the worst goals you'll ever see, but like one of the biggest
incredible
you'll ever see the entire end. And even down to a couple of weeks later when he came, he got a clap by me in the paddock for taking a corner, and you could see he was fuming because everyone gave him like a little clap going. It was it was a boss night. Like even like the concourse, everything was crazy. I remember the Elevate song. There's some fella just punching there like a shutter on a kiosk singing Darren with an O for Darren Gibson for that tune. It was just a really good night, so I'm going to go for
that. We actually forget that Darren Gibson had quite a nice little run because, you know, there were side issues.
The extracurricular stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that forced him sort of out of the team after, you know, quite a short spell where he looked all right.
But he was good, wasn't he? I think our record with him in the team's really good, isn't it?
Mm?
Yeah, he was a good player. Like even when he come back in under Martinez, it was just obviously the stuff off the pitch. And actually, I saw it on Facebook Memories today because we got beat by Norwich. My cousin's a Norwich fan. 8 years ago today is when Koeman played him as centre half in the cup, which wasn't my favourite cup game.
That's up there with DCL at right back, isn't it?
Oh.
Not good. Warren, what are you going with?
Sorry, did you ask me then? I couldn't hit cut out. Did you ask me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, favourite one, the Chelsea away in the replay. I've talked about it before on this show. I was down there. It was a replay and it was on a Saturday, which was a weird thing because I think they had Champions League commitments or something. And I've told this story before, but I'll say it again. We were 0-0 all the way, and it goes into extra time. I think Lampard scored, ironically, and there was a lad. We were on the very back row of the shed ends, and we had the whole shed end that day. We were on the very back row. There was a lad in front of me, and he must have been about 10 or 11, and he was getting upset because he's like, "We're going out the cup. We're going out the cup." And his dad was with him and put his hand on his shoulder. He said, "Don't worry, mate. You'll see us be good again." You know, when he's 10 years down the line now, thinking you were lying, mate. What are you on about? But anyway, I said, "Don't worry. You know, it'll be all right, mate. We'll win. We'll win another time. You know, don't worry." And I just sort of slumped in my chair at that point because I thought, you know, we're not going to do anything at Chelsea. And then we get that free kick at the end, and it really cemented for me Baines as just being my all-time Everton hero. And he scored that goal, and I kind of went into like a trance, like a sort of out-of-body experience because it just very un-Everton, scoring a free kick in the last minute of extra time. And we went mad. We went absolutely mad. And then it gets to penalties, and I don't know if you remember, it was like a 12:30 kickoff. We'd been up since 4:30, and we were on the ale since 5 o'clock that morning on the train down there. And there was loads of Evertonians on the train from Lime Street. It was one of them early Saturday morning trains, Virgin trains, where just full of blues, and everyone was on the ale. Few pubs, and I remember we got to a pub by Euston, and we were on the Jaeger bombs at like 9 a.m. It was one of them days, you know, where you don't care, you're just having a good time. And we get to the penalties, and Phil Neville steps up, and it was the Heiting. I remember Heiting shoved Ashley Cole, and that got everyone going. And we were that bladdered, we didn't realise that if Phil Neville scored, we won. But someone, like, just as he was about to take it, someone said, "Fucking hell, if we score this, we win." We go, "Really? What about that?" And then we looked, you look at the scoreboard and it's got like who scored and who hasn't. Fucking hell, yeah, if we score this, we win. And Phil Neville puts it in. And as I said, I just went into a trance. I was just like, "Wah!" for about 5 minutes, like solid. And the best thing was afterwards, everyone was bouncing, everyone was singing, everyone was dancing. And we got to Runcorn on the train home, and I think they still do it, but the players got off at Runcorn to get on the coach. And everyone knew the players were in first class, and all the other train was full of everything. And you can imagine all the songs getting sung or everything like that. And the players get off, and everyone gets off the train, cheering them, singing them, Everton, Everton, all that. And I was at uni in Ormskirk at the time of day. Jill and I we went back to Ormskirk, and we must have stayed up till about 2-3 a.m. I had a lock in, and I think I was up about 24 hours. And we just had the best day. And to this day, I don't think I've ever had a better A, away day, and B, cup experience. So the Chelsea away replay back in 2011, I think it was. And then, yeah, to be Everton, to be very Everton at the end of it, we lost it to Reading in the next round. So here we go.
On a Wednesday night, I think that was, wasn't it?
Brilliant day. Yeah. Joby McAnuff scored, and it was the one where Beckford was late because he got stuck in the traffic on the 62. So very Everton, but brilliant.
Yeah. But yeah,
that reminds. I've said this on Twitter, but you just reminded me that when my dad was first on codeine, because he had a slip disc, but the codeine would just, once he'd had it for about an hour, he'd be a little bit. And for about 6 months, he started referring to Duckworth Lewis as the Jermaine Beckford method. Just because you know, when you're on like some drugs that send you a little bit west and you just can't quite get your words. So yeah, I basically call it the Jermaine Beckford method now.
That's a shout, like, change it, might as well. It was good, Beckford. I like Beckford.
He scored some great goals.
Yeah. Yeah, well, good one against Chelsea, even though I don't think he had the ball under control for about 90% of that run. It was a good goal. Sam, what's yours?
The first thing that came into my head, it's not so much my favourite, but you know the semi-final against Man United? And I think...
The one we won?
Yeah, the one we won. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, not the 2-1 to United. Because I don't know if everyone remembers this, but it collided with the start of the smoking ban in stadiums. So,
oh wow,
yeah, going into penalties, and like I knew someone about 6 seats down from me, and just kind of glanced to the side, and he was gesturing "fag" to me, and so we just like ran off, dived into the toilets, just chained 3 together, and then back to the seats. But I think because you were so nicotine deprived at that point as well, that it just really, really heightened it. And none of us were used to it. None of us were used to having to have a fag in the toilets at that point. So, I think the buzz at the end of that was just astonishing.
Yeah, especially when your stress reflex is getting like sort of banned. That's not good, is it?
Mm.
I think mine's Tottenham 4-1 in the semi-final.
Oh yeah,
it was just an incredible day. Yeah, it was brilliant, and just like when we got there, I was convinced like Tottenham were going to like have a dead good atmosphere because they had that one big stand. I thought, well, they're all together, so they're all going to be sound. They were terrible. It was like a home game for us. It was just incredible. Everything about it was so good. I'd like vividly remember the 2 Amakachi goals in particular, especially the header because it was right by us. Oh, so good.
I really liked that it upset all the neutrals as well. Like
God, he wanted the United Tottenham final so bad, didn't he?
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. Yeah, good times. Could say that. Couple more on it. Gary said his favourite cup game as a kid was what? As a kid, Gary, I was like 18. As a kid, watching us rip Spurs to bits in the semi. Tangled Up in Blues, obviously 95 final, not just because of the win, but the calibre of team we beat, which is a great shout, isn't it? Because Like,
Yeah.
for that Everton team to beat that United team was some going.
Yeah,
and he nearly got into
team, and they battered us in the game.
Oh, Southall was great that day, wasn't he?
Oh, that double save was amazing. It was
and the one where he just
was it? Because Cantona had he was still banned from the kick at Palace.
Yeah. Not saying he was like important to that team, but wasn't like the only season he didn't win a trophy in like 15 years or something in that period.
Yeah, but they won the double either side of him being banned, didn't he? So they won the double for the first time in '94, then did it again, became the first team to do it twice in '96 with a totally different team in terms of like both the Nevilles, Beckham and players coming in, but he was just like the catalyst, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was so good. He's such a cool fella. I hated him at the time, like, but Tom said Chelsea at Stamford Bridge when the Yak nearly took the net off. Paul
that was my 21st birthday. That was the first time I've been to
was
London.
It? Oh, decent.
I went. My mate took me as a surprise, and it was the first time actually in London. A couple of mates who they weren't Reds, but they weren't Everton fans from uni, got tickets with us, and they were like, "How much noise do you make?" And just before Yakubu scored, one of them went, "Imagine how much noise they'd make if they scored." And we were on the front row, the way Warren said he was on the back row, and we had to catch him. He was going to go past us and like down into the rows in front. It properly went off. It was crazy.
Did we all see Yak won that Barclaysman competition on Twitter? You are?
Oh, yeah, he's got to. He did, didn't he?
He did, did won it.
Yeah, he was the ultimate like
boss.
Paula said the Dan Gosling replay, which is a great shout. That it went off in the park. It went off in the park end at that point.
I was in the paddock still then, but it was equally bad.
Yeah, and just everywhere. You know, you're beating them like that. But also looked at Middlesbrough tie in the same run in the 6th round. Stu 4-4 against Devil's Lounge Band on his birthday in 1991. Didn't have a great lineup, but managed to come back 4 times. That was just a ridiculous game. The mad thing about that is as well, every one of Liverpool's goals is superb in that game, and all of Everton's are just scuffed in. It's like you could just see. You could just see the golfing clash between the teams, but it didn't matter.
Sharp's one was the best. They just like rolled it in off his arse, didn't he, from like a yard out?
Was it who scored their own goal? Was it Steve Nicol? And I think Sharp just went, or Cotty went through the back of him, and it sort of just tapped it.
Cotty's goal for 4-4 was good though.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like John Barnes' goal in that game was just stupid.
Yeah, it was insane goal, wasn't it?
Unfortunately. And Stephen said his favourite cup game, a bit obvious, but Man United semi-final. I can think of lots of bad cup games like Tranmere at home and West Ham when Adrian scored the penalty. That was awful. Stephen, why have you brought us down? I was trying to lift the mood after the midweek cup game, and you brought us down like that. Right. Tangled up in blues next. He's gonna pick it up with this question. What's your favourite thing about Goodison Matchday? One thing only. Sam, will come to you first.
Do you know what? It's heightened because I don't get there as much as I used to. But every single time, I'm still in bits at Z cars. Like,
oh really?
Yeah. Me. The hairs on the hairs on me arm are still standing up for Z cars to this day.
That's class. I think the siren definitely helps as well. You know, that was
the siren's amazing.
Yeah, so good. Warren.
Oh, there's so many things that make so many little things that make up a match day at Goodison. You know, I can think of Dog Shit Alley, which is by the school and by where Big Tesco used to be, and you walk up and there's just dog shit everywhere down it. But it's just so Goodison. I mean, even in itself, and people might be listening to that going, "What are you on about?" But it's part of the match day. But I think if I had to pick one, I think I'd go for, just the shouts in the ground. You know, some people are really witty in the ground of what they shout and what they say. I'll never forget, I was sitting next to a fella, and it was when Moyes and Steve Round were at Man United. And Man United we were beating them. It was the game where I think we won 2-0 and Baines scored the penalty, and I think Morales scored as well. And 2-0 down, Man United are about to make a sub. And this doesn't sound that funny, but at the time it was I was rolling laughing. But Seamus Coleman goes down to take a throw in, and Steve Round, he hadn't left the technical area at any point, and he walked up and he had like clipboard in his hands, and some fella just next to me went, "Careful, Seamus, Steve Round's got a clipboard out now," and it was just the funniest, like just as if that was some sort of threat. Steve Round walking out with a clipboard, it was brilliant, and I just think some of the shouts you get are just like so funny, and I hope that transfers to the new ground. I really do, because we're going to miss that. I'm sure it will. But yeah, just the shouts you hear on a match day is just brilliant. And even when we're at our worst, you know, you hear some really funny. I mean, do you remember where at the video that did the rounds? Baines is about to take a penalty, and someone goes, "Get on with it, dickhead." just things like that, just brilliant, just amazing.
For some reason, I remember I was in the family enclosure because my dad had took me, and I remember Gordon Strachan when he was managing Coventry, and he was pacing up and down the touchline, and someone yelled at him, "Sit down, Strachan, you'd be knackered," and he just turned around and said, "I am."
just all that, yeah. Just the random shouts you get, honest, and like the videos again that do the rounds. You know, I always refer to, "For fuck's sake, Satibi, get over," and just things like that. And like I was only watching the other day the Jelavic goal against Man City, and that'll be forever known for just fucking it. You know, and I don't know if it'll transfer as well to Bramley Moore. There's something very Goodison about the shouts you hear, and yeah, I'll love them the most, but I'll equally miss them the most as well when we leave. They're brilliant.
Before the Gareth Farrelly goal, the important one, last game of the season, the whole stadium yelling, "Don't shoot."
Oh God, yeah. True. Jesus. I was reminded of one on Twitter before when someone shouted, "You couldn't win a header against a polar bear, you Onana," which is don't know what the relevance is, but yeah, he probably couldn't. Liam.
Sorry, one more just before Liam. Sorry, just before mate. The last one. I've got to say this because it made me. I was in tears at it. It was like, what was it? If someone gave you the gun for John Lennon, Kone, he'd still be alive today. Just brilliant. Sorry, go on, Liam. Sorry, mate. Just remembered it then. I thought it was brilliant.
Just to kind of riff onto that, though, the shouts are great. I mean, I grew up in the paddock, moved to Park End about 10 years ago, but I remember one game we played in Middlesbrough. It was a Super Sunday, and these seem so foreign now. Do you know those games we used to have that were processions, and like we just win comfortably, and it was like quite weird that we were in control. Yeah. And Gary O'Neill came over to take a throw in by me, and the ground was quite quiet, and this fella behind went, "Oh, Neil, you had a shit club at Portsmouth, you had another shit club at Middlesbrough. What have you ever done?" And Gary O'Neill just did that with his fingers, went, "I made loads of money," and everyone started laughing. And then the fella just went, "Good shout, lad." And everyone around him was just laughing at him, boss.
That's class.
It was good.
That's going to be the most Tory reaction to anything ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. He just went, "I made loads of money." Everyone was laughing. I'd probably say similar to Warren. It's the people. Like, the other people around you. Like, Warren did a wonderful bit. I think it was on his episode of Old New Borrowed and Blue. Joe, we were talking about how friends and people you go to the match with are a boss part of Everton. And I'd share that. I've come to realise it more as I get older. Like, just the people you sit with, and especially as we might not see them when we move. I think you touched on that on Toffee Thursday. So that's probably my favourite.
It was so late with Blue Monday. Yeah, that is a shout. I feel the same as well. I'm going to be gutted to leave, like, to not be sitting with those people. But I think mine, just being like really objective, is the Chongqing Chippy on County Road is the best thing about the match for me.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Yeah,
I'm never disappointed by them ever. It's so they never let me down. Laura, what's your least favourite pub by Goodison, Warren? Your least favourite pub?
I can't dig pubs out. I can't. I mean, I don't know.
I just say Wetherspoons.
Yeah, the Wetherspoons. There we go. I'll just say that. You know, I can't. You know, Liam's just touched on it there, and yourself, Les. Just love everything about it, everything around it. Even if there are some not very pleasant places, it's Goodison, isn't it? It's Walton. It's the place. The Arkles. There we go. Shithole.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam?
Is it the Lee Arms that when you're walking up from Kirkdale, that I think it's the Lee Arms that even if I pop in for a piss, it just feels really aggro.
What one's that?
Is that the one as you come out the station on like the corner where you cross over?
No, not
Is that
that.
the one straight ahead?
No, not that close up.
No, that's the Melrose.
It's more on the when you're on the it's not quite Spellow Lane, but it's
like Westminster, innit? Westminster Roadway, that way.
Yeah.
I must have passed this a million times, and I can't quite picture it.
But I don't like any of the pubs before the match because I
know the one.
I don't want to be in that environment before the match. Like I just like queuing for 40 minutes so you can chuck a pint down in 5 minutes. Just not for me.
Yeah. Actually, do you know what? I've just clocked where the Lee Arms is, and I do pass it every single time I go to the game. And I have only been in there for a piss myself as well. I don't know what you mean. Do you know what? There was a programme seller outside there every week, every match day for years, and then he never saw him again after COVID, which makes me quite sad. That maybe I don't want to bring it down, but I just remember like the first games back after COVID, it was noticeable that he wasn't there. It was like, oh shit. So I hope he's all right, and he's just packed it in. But yeah,
can someone let us know now? Someone must know him.
Someone message the Blue Room and let us know because I've never seen the fella, but I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, it was weird. It was dead odd. Liam, pick us back up. What's your least favourite pub? Just rip somewhere.
I'm a bit like Sam in that. I think they're all grim, but I'm also a bit like Warren that I love them all for the character. I can't really dig one out, but I'm just going to mention going into the Clock once on County Road, and we went in there and there was like a rip in the curtain. It looked like someone had put a knife through it. They were selling multi-pack cans of Coke to people. They had an extended office chair as the bar stool, and they were showing like an illegal stream of a game, and then the telly bust, and it was just like, but it was like it was like £3 a pint or something. So it was just like, that's fine. And it was crap, but it was one of those, it was that bad you enjoy it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we used to go to the Sefton, which is just opposite where the elm tree was. Mm-hmm. And they basically they went through a phase of selling this bottle log called Herrenhauser for like £1.50 a bottle. They clearly just got a job lot knock off from somewhere because I've never seen it before or since. The telly fell off the wall there one day as well. But what would regularly happen is the landlady would be upstairs watching Sky. So we'd all be stood there at the bar talking, watching like Sky Sports News before the game. And she'd just switch over, like a Carry On film or something would come on. Just like, what are you going to do? But I think the biggest downgrade in pubs had to be when the Pacific turned into the Liverpool party pad. Absolutely outrageous that. Yeah, should never have happened. Yeah. Right, let's get on to these music questions. I forgot to put Laura's question up. Laura, there's your question. What's your favourite pub by Goodison? Going along the bottom now. Right, music question. Greeny has asked, pound for pound, what are your best value gig tickets? These are questions from weeks ago when the Oasis tickets went on sale, so you probably kind of lost a bit of relevance, but we'll go with them anyway. His are £4 Manic Street Preachers, £5.50 Bill Hicks, and £6.50 Nirvana. The 90s, man. What a time to be alive. And he knew a bloke who saw Hendrix when he was a kid at Youth Club in Doncaster. Hendrix and Doncaster. Free sweets on the door. What a touch. Take some beating. Liam, go ahead. What's your best value pound for pound gig?
Weirdly, it's probably actually Oasis for a simple reason being I got tickets last minute when they played Heaton Park and there was an electrical fault, so they refunded it.
Oh yeah, I was at that.
So I basically got to see them for nothing. I only got the ticket the day before, so I was buzzing. And just on that Oasis point, I know one of the reasons you asked me, I was like, because I'm an Oasis fan, I'm just so glad you didn't say this is an Oasis special with Liam, because you would have had loads of people tuning in.
Fuck.
You really got the wrong end of the stick.
I am. That's going on the tweet. Put it that way.
No, it'd be like Otto Stoner's Pop Palace, Joe and the Simpsons.
Warren,
I'm
best
not.
value gig.
I've been to get. Well, actually, I tell you what. I'll tell you a little story because I'm not a gig person. I'm not a. It's just not my thing. I don't go to festivals. It's not for me. It's not my thing. But I did get the opportunity to interview Space.
Wow.
And
Okay.
they were really, really good lads. I interviewed them about 10, 12 years ago. And at the end of the interview, he said to me, "Oh, we're doing the homecoming gig. We're in Liverpool tonight." And I went, "Oh, hope it goes all right, everything all that." He went, "So are you coming?" I said, "Oh, I haven't got a ticket." He went, "Speak to the manager. We'll get you VIP." And it was one of the places by it was on Fleet Street, one of the places there by where Armour Cuba is and all that, and where Pogues used to be. Can't remember the name of the venue now, but it was great. We went upstairs. We had
Zanzibar.
It might have been, yeah. It's where you go upstairs. There's a VIP. Downstairs was a big floor, and then they had the stage and that. But they were brilliant. They were really good. And what I loved about it was they come out and speak to everyone at the end and mixed with everyone. And I thought, I'd interviewed them like 2 or 3 days before. And I went down from where we were upstairs. I want to say VIP. It wasn't like anything glitz and glamour. It was just a bar you could go to upstairs that no one else could access. That was it. But I went downstairs on the main stage, and they were walking around, and they come up to you, "Oh, hiya, Warren, so glad you could make it." And Franny, he's a cop out, but he's all right. He's one of the members of the band, and Tommy's the lead singer, and there was a couple of others there, and they all shook me hand. "Thanks for coming." And I just thought it was a really nice touch. But yeah, got in for free just because I managed to interview them. It was a really good gig, and I think, go on.
What was the interview for? What were we doing that for?
I used to do a little bit of like community radio back in the day, and they hadn't reformed, but it was at Roby College in Highton. Oh, yeah. And Knowsley Community College it was. Used to do a little bit of community radio for them, and they were doing a little bit of promo, because they were back home, and they'd done they reformed, and they started doing gigs, and they were on a tour, and it was I can't remember if it was the last gig or the first, but it was the homecoming, and so yeah, I interviewed them for that. But it was just I just thought it was a really nice touch. They remembered me, and they said hello and whatever. But yeah, they got me on the guest list, got in, and it was great because we were upstairs, and when it was quite busy down, we could just go to the bar and we watched them, and it was brilliant because I used to really love Space in the late 90s. I thought they were great, and I loved because they were a Liverpool band as well. There was that connection there, and I thought some of the songs were brilliant that they wrote. And the first album, Spiders, I think it was a great album. So yeah, that was mine. But I'm not a big. It's probably not a good question for me because I'm not a big gig or festival person. So, but I got something out of it in the end, yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm sure I used to listen to KCC Live as well. I'm sure we.
That's what it used to be on, yeah.
Side. Yeah, I'm sure I used to listen to that. Wow,
that's what it used to be on. Yeah.
Sam,
I think mine are all the best value ones for me are all like comedians, because I go to a lot of little comedy gigs and whatnot. So I've seen a lot of, like I've seen Stuart Lee for £3 and Greg Davis for £3. People like Joe Lycett, I don't think I've ever paid for, and I must have seen him half a dozen times just because he was on the Manchester circuit at the same time I was. So it probably is all comedians. Jackie Abbott, actually, speaking of getting getting free tickets, Jackie Abbott gave me shouted me a free ticket to her and Paul Heaton at the one on the docks, and that was really good. You don't realize how many beautiful South songs until
I know they're all in there, aren't they?
Yeah,
one of my favorite bands.
And yeah, they were so good, and it was just so sweet of her to just dive into me DMs and be like, "Do you want to come to this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
That's class. That's so good.
Great.
They're really, really good people, aren't they? It's really nice when they're really good people.
Yeah. Paul Heaton's one of the best as well, isn't he? Without a doubt. Just on comedians, Milo from Trash Futures playing Hot Water Comedy Club in November, I think.
Oh, right.
Excellent.
So that should be good. Okay, mine. Just because I'm a 90s arse, it's got to be Nebworth in 96. Right, this lineup: 2 p.m. Bootleg Beatles, 3 p.m. Chemical Brothers. If there's a band you probably don't want to see at 3 p.m., it's the Chemical Brothers. But we move. 4:15 Ocean Colour Scene, 5:30 Manic Street Preachers, 7 o'clock The Prodigy, 8:45 Oasis.
I mean, that's just 90s in a nutshell there, isn't it?
It's incredible. I looked at the ticket prices on this and adjusted for inflation using some online calculator, and the tickets for that gig would still only be £52.93.
What a bargain.
And you know, the ones for the new Oasis shows are going for like 3 times that. Crazy.
It's one of my big regrets that I've never seen Prodigy. I think they'd be absolutely incredible.
Oh, my big regret was I wasn't into them at the time. I was a proper guitar music ming in the 90s. Like, didn't like dance music at all. But like seeing them, it properly blew my head off because they were incredible. They were so good.
Do you know what? On that dead quick,
in the gym today as well. Good gym music.
On that dead quick, from someone who's not a festival person, that's all. I heard Faithless were meant to be unbelievable live, and that's my regret. If I was ever going to go to a gig, I would have loved to have seen Faithless because I've heard they would.
I know a few people who've seen
like,
that.
It's not just a show; it's like almost like an experience.
Yeah, I've seen them, and they were brilliant. The only thing I thought was really odd was the open with Insomnia, and they were like, "Where do you go after that?"
Yeah, that is a bit mad, isn't it?
It's a mad one.
Just do it again at the end.
Yeah,
still go off, wouldn't it?
I also want to see I also want to see the Libertines for about £7 on like the first tour of Liverpool, which is incredible. Right, quickly, Gary, best song on Definitely Maybe. I'll just throw this out to everyone. Just shout it out wherever you want.
I like Supersonic. Just like Supersonic. That'll do me.
Yeah, shout. There's some shouts for that as well in here. Liam?
Columbia, it's my favourite Oasis song. You play it now and it still sounds like it was made yesterday. It's like, it's just so fresh.
I'm with you.
It's just unbelievable. I think I like it because Liam's voice great, but it's not even much singing. It's just like Noel on the guitar for 6 minutes, but it just works, doesn't it?
Did you listen to the new version where Liam sings the high bits?
No, I didn't listen to it.
There's a demo on Spotify. I think it's the Sawmills mix or something on Spotify.
Oh yeah, the
Sawmills. It's mad. It's good, like, but it's really weird.
Yeah, but it's jarring. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is. I think it's Columbia or Slide Away from me. Sam, you got one?
Yeah, I was going to say Supersonic as well. I think it's hard to beat that one.
It's a very good album now.
It's some debut single that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's knocking out the park straight away, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, moving on. Liam, ask your question. Go ahead.
Well, I've already gave the answer, haven't I? What was favourite Oasis song? So I'm gonna just put out here one of my favourite ones from later on because everyone should listen to it if they haven't. It's Waiting for the Rapture off Dig Out Your Soul, which is just criminally underrated.
It is. The whole album is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, defo. Sam? I
should confess here, I've never been super into Oasis, so this is like a kind of dabbler's view, but Champagne Supernova probably. Like I do
incredible
think
live as well.
I bet, yeah.
It is incredible live. Jay was out in town last night, so he's back at uni and it's Freshers Week. And he had an Oasis t-shirt on. I think he's just been to shit indie disco or something. He's walking back home, and some smart ass shouted at him, "Hey lad, what's your favourite Oasis song?" So we just turned around and shouted Wonderwall at this fella. This fella looked at him. He's like, "Nah, I'm only messing. It's Where Did It All Go Wrong?" Off Standing on the Shoulder of Giants.
Nice.
Which is also brilliant.
Completely fucking perplexed. I went, "Oh yeah, I can't argue with that lad." Clearly didn't have a clue what he was talking about. Yeah, you cannot pull that kid on an Oasis thing. Warren?
do you know what? Like, I think it's become kind of cool to not like what's the story, like the album, and
Brilliant album.
like it's just of its time. And I mean, Champagne Supernova was a phenomenal song. Don't Look Back in Anger used to be like one of my favorites but it's turned into a bit of a matchroom boxing special, hasn't it? Where all the lads who are coked up sing it. So that's what's put a bit. And Wonderwall's the same. So it's there's still amazing songs, but my actual personal favorite is, and it's because of the fantastic comedy that it's the theme tune of, is Half the World Away.
Nice.
Just because of the attachment to the royal family. I think there's something very northern and very sort of, you listen to it and you feel very attached and you feel very emotive initially when you listen to it. And the fact that it's tied to the royal family as well, I just think it works perfectly with that sitcom. It works perfectly with that working class, family. And I mean, that comedy, it's brilliant in itself. But I think what adds to it is that Half the World Away being the theme tune. But I think there's a sort of attachment with Oasis that you shouldn't like them because they're too mainstream, and I think there's a certain degree of that with a lot of people's feelings of them. For me, I just think that they're such a product of their time, but like Liam referred to earlier, they're very timeless as well. Kids now who I teach listen to Oasis like I did back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and there was just something very special about that time period for me, the whole Oasis Blair thing and the Britpop thing. And I know it's being sort of watered down, and I know it's being, not maybe favoured upon, and maybe there is a little bit of a nostalgic feel with it as well. That maybe it wasn't as good as what we remember, but I don't know. But I just think there's a lot of goods. There's a lot of goods in what they wrote and what they did, and I love a lot of their music. But yeah, I think if I was to go for the personal favourites, Half the World Away, because of the attachment to the royal family. I think it's a brilliant song.
It is a belter. I think mine could be a B-side as well. I think mine's possible. The one I always go back to is Underneath the Sky, which is the B-side to Don't Look Back in Anger. I don't know why, that's just one of always my go-tos. And do you know what I mean? If you listen to that on a good speaker, it's incredible.
Do you know what? That was from an album which was panned at the time because it wasn't as good as the first two albums. I thought it was a belter album, and I thought, you know what I mean, was a brilliant opening song as well. Yeah,
it's too long.
One of those albums, if someone else, it is too long. But I think if someone else made it, or it was a debut album, like, how good is this? But the fact that every song's like 7 to 8 minutes long it's
probably the most coked up album since the 70s.
Yeah, definitely is.
Got to be.
Yeah.
Couple of answers for this. Paula said, Masterplan Talk Tonight, Live Forever. I can't choose. I mean, 3 good choices. Green said, probably, some might say, Supersonic, It's Good to Be Free. What a shout. Slide Away and Columbia in that order. Gary, you bastards, I should say Live Forever, as it's our wedding song. Gary and his wife, not me and Gary. But to put a smile on your face and lift you up when down, it's got to be Digsy's Dinner. Slide Away, because it's just boss. He can't pick one, but his wife says it's got to be Live Forever. And ID said, too hard to choose one, but Rocking Chair is always a winner for me. That's a great shout. The B-side to roll with it. Belter. Right, some from Maggie. Love this one. What's your favourite worst penalty you've ever seen? From the hopscotch run-ups to absolutely power blasting into the stands. Give me them all. Right, I'm going to say mine because I want to screen share if I can. If you're not watching on YouTube, this might sound shit. If you are watching on YouTube, it might still be shit because it might not work, but let's have a go. So it's this one. It's absolutely incredible from Bersant Selena. Let's try and share my screen. Christ, it's like being in work. There we go. Can everyone see that?
Oh, it's loading. Here we go.
Here we go, yeah.
Yeah, it's loading. Yeah.
Just get on this.
Selena.
Oh, Christ, it's on dial-up here, isn't it?
Oh, no.
I can hear the modem go.
Yes.
So what's the Oh, here we go.
Oh,
amazing.
I can't believe my eyes.
Oh, no.
He better have
See
repeat.
that one more time because it was genuinely incredibly bad.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
I can't
wow.
believe my eyes.
He's gone
Wow.
to Penenka, that hasn't he? And had second thoughts,
Yeah.
like a second, like just before he's kicked it and just fucked it. Unreal. Warren?
It's got to be Baggio, hasn't it? 94 World Cup final. That was the greatest penalty miss of all time. That was my first World Cup as a kid. That was the first one where I got into football and I watched it. And Baggio was phenomenal at World Cup. And even for someone who wasn't as knowledgeable at that age, but could watch and appreciate. And you just thought, he's going to win it. He's going to win it all. And he hits that penalty over. And yeah, that's got to be the worst miss from one of the greatest players of all time. So that's mine. Baggio, 94 World Cup final.
That is a hell of a shout. That was a World Cup of very, very good football kits as well.
Yeah,
Romania.
Those Italy and Brazil kits were unreal.
Georgie Hadji for Romania. What a kit that was.
And the stripes up the side.
Even Ireland's kit as well. Ireland's, Italy's, incredible.
Yeah, Delta. Sam?
I find it, just because it was in context, it was extremely funny after a bad run and then being on a hat trick. It's Jelovic's fell Penenka.
Oh, God. QPR.
Yeah, God bless him. I was behind the goal for that as well, so I was really hoping he was gonna smack it. And oh, bless him.
That was amazing, actually. Yeah, what a shout!
You? I'm going to go for a bit of a niche one. Jonathan Walters missed one for Stoke against Chelsea in 2012, 2013, but it's the context. He scored 2 own goals in the game. One of them just hit him whilst he was stood in the box. And they were 4-0 down. He got a pen. He's like, I'm going to step up and take this pen. And he just smashed it against the bar. And it was just like, God, how bad a day he had at the office there. So
you're having the worst day ever.
Yeah.
I love it when they've wrestled the ball off someone and then they fuck it. That's beautiful.
They always miss, don't they? I feel like everyone who fights for the ball misses.
Yeah, that was Baines and thingy, wasn't it?
Morales,
yeah.
Yeah, should never do that. Oh yeah, there you go. I've got to do this now. Now the screen share worked.
He's getting funky now with his technical parts. Yeah.
What are you bringing the blue room?
Apologize. Yeah, no, kicking and screaming. Apologise to anyone who can't see this, but you'll get the picture. Just fast forward this bit. It'll be about 20 seconds.
What this is doing, though, Les, it's encouraging people to watch on YouTube so they can see our reaction.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, just search for Jelovic's penalty miss.
Here we go.
Come on, yell it! Get your hat trick, lad!
Come on, yell it, get your hat trick, lad!
Come on, Yanni!
Oh, never change, Toffees. Never, ever change.
No, never.
Right. Next up from Maggie is who out of the blue room could and should win the halftime crossbar challenge? Who would fail it dismally and accidentally send someone to Aintree Hospital brain trauma unit? Warren, go ahead. Who do you reckon would be best at the crossbar challenge in the blue room?
So I'm going to back myself here. I said that I had the second best left foot on Merseyside after Leighton Baines. So I'm going to back myself with the crossbar. The worst. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to put anyone down. I don't know.
I'm thinking of Matt Flusk toe banger.
Oh, Flusky would
and name someone. Yeah,
Flusky would toe bang you, hit it, and probably twist his knee in the process.
Yeah, that's my one. I'd probably I'd miss, but I can't kick it hard enough to send someone to the hospital. So, Liam,
It's a hard question. Don't we start digging people out? He's on his Mailbag debut and he said, "Oh, they definitely miss a bet." They
He's on
definitely.
They're shit. Them.
I'm going to say myself just because I'm a terrible footballer, and most likely to score. Don't know. Matt Jones looks like the sort of person who'd be good at footy. I know he's dead athletic and stuff, so he looks like the sort of person who might be good at footy. So I'll back
Matt Jones plays football exactly how you'd expect him to play football. He just runs loads. So there's a lot of endeavour there. Sam?
Oh, I'm happy to back Warren as well.
Thank you, Sam. God bless you.
Call me ex.
I am now. He said that like.
Do you know what? I'm not now. I'm awful now. But back in the day, I did used to be half decent. But that's enough. That's enough sort of positive praise for myself there. I'll go back to being more humble, but I will back myself.
Oh, you look at that'll do me.
That helps. Who's got to smack one into the street end?
Dave.
See now, I can see what you mean, but Dave's got a good touch for a big man.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, I can see Dave being quite cultured.
I was backing in to win, so I can see what you mean. It depends on the approach. If he does try and smack it, I reckon, but he could definitely chip one. He could.
I've not seen anyone play, have I? So it's like this is vibes based.
All the best things are vibes based.
Let's just say Mose, because you know he's great at everything else. Great looking lad, handsome fella.
He's a cultured footballer.
He'd be shit at crossbar challenge. There we go. Let's give it to Mosey. He's gonna fall.
Yeah, that's big Mose. He doesn't bother with us or listen anymore either, so we can dig him out all.
No, yeah, exactly.
The final one from Maggie in this round. Finally, because apparently today's theme is causing pain through football, who in the Everton squad deserves the key punishment in a game of red arse? Who would take the most joy blasting a Casey into their cheeks? Sorry, that didn't quite all show up there. Yeah, who's getting red arse? Sean Dyche for me.
Do you know what? Back in the day, though, would have been David Unsworth with that backside, wouldn't he? I mean,
can't miss.
Sniper's dream. Yeah, can't miss. But now, I mean, like, go on.
The other night when Jack Harrison came on, I swear he was wearing David Unsworth shorts. They were massive. Like a Jack Harrison would fit in one leg of David Unsworth shorts, to be honest.
He'd be good to smack the ball at, I reckon.
Yeah. Sam?
Just again, sorry to offer context.
Oh, God.
For those international listeners and those who are maybe away from Merseyside, red arse is a game where essentially you bend over in the goal, or you're basically a target, and you're bending over to show your posterior, and someone from penalty spot distance away will hit the ball as hard as they can and try to hit your backside, which is where red arse comes from. Yeah,
good explainer. You always do that, don't you? I always just like take it for granted. Everyone knows.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, and do you know what? It was funny because I was actually listening to this with one of my colleagues down south, and they were like, "What does that mean?" I can't remember what it was, but it was like, "What does that mean?" And I had to explain to them. And I thought, we are an international-based podcast. We sometimes might have to verify what certain local colloquialisms mean. Look at me coming up with big words.
You're right. It's needed. My wife's from Manchester and still goes after 9 years. She still goes, "What does that mean?" I'll say something. She goes, "Well, what does it mean?" It means this, doesn't it? And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, it means that."
My fellow started saying our arse in conversation, and I'm delighted.
That's amazing.
He's from Stockport, and yeah, he did this. It's amazing what he picks up.
Yeah, that is cracking. I got asked what a keck was after I told someone I need to go into town about some keck. I've never heard keck singularized, but yeah, what's a keck?
I say that to the when I'm in work. I say that to the kids. Get your kecks on, and they look at me like I've got two heads, and I don't realise I'm saying it because it's just natural to me. But I've got to put your trousers on, hurry up and get. And by the way, sorry, this sounds really weird. I'm telling kids.
I don't want to say.
Sorry, I'm a PE teacher. I'm a PE teacher, and he put the PE shorts on, and then he get changed into the trousers. That sounded very weird. I can confirm I'm not a weirdo or a creep. All right, so that's again added context.
Yeah,
Edit that bit out,
we'll
Les.
move on. Who's blasting a footy at anyone?
Are we talking about the victim here?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Well, it was actually Maggie that alerted me to footage of James Tarkovsky on a documentary. I don't know what the documentary is. Sat with his wife talking about how much he likes shagging. And not only do I think he could take it in terms of red arse, I think just for that he deserves it.
Tarkovsky pegged. Yeah, and do you know what? Funnily enough, after he said that, he was out pretty much, well, for half the summer with an arse injury. Not bad. Right, we'll move on to Stephen's question, which is, if you could be a zombie, vampire, werewolf, or mummy, which one would you be? A zombie every time for him, which I find an odd choice. But, you know, it's a game of opinions. Sam, what are you going with?
Werewolf, you can take a potion and you're not just lingering around the universe undead forever. All the other options sound horrendous.
The zombie doesn't appeal to me at all. The werewolf, though, the transformation, it looks like it kills.
Yeah, but you can take some medicine for it.
All right, fair enough. Okay.
I mean, I think I don't know what werewolf law is, but in films normally they have to take the medicine, don't they, before sundown or
moon up or whatever it is. Yeah. Warren?
Yeah, zombie. Everything I've ever watched regarding zombies, the zombies always get killed. Vampires can only come out at night, so that'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it? I'm with Sam. Werewolf. I reckon you'd have the most fun as a werewolf. Mummies, nah, not interested.
No. I suppose werewolf as well. You can knock about in the day, can't you?
Yeah.
Just as yourself. Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a disability anymore being a werewolf.
It's true. I tell you what, I reckon you'd be fucked for your pip though, wouldn't you? Liam?
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go for a vampire because you think about it. It's like being a student for eternity. You're up all night for no reason. You've got boss clobber. You live in a big cold house and you're necking different people all the time. It's just like being in uni forever, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I think vampire for me, horny undead, is the one for me. Definitely.
There's the title of the show, Horny Undead.
Horny Undead.
Moving on to a sort of similar thing, if you want to look at it that way, which I do, which is a bit weird. Stu, if you were the professional dancer on Strictly, who would you choose to be your celebrity partner? Stu asks. Liam?
I thought about this, and if it's good enough for Changi, it's good enough for me. It's got to be Louis Spence from Pineapple Dance Studios.
That's a hell of a show. That has got to be... It's one of the best ever pictures ever, that, isn't it?
It makes so little sense, but it makes total sense. It's just such a stupid thing.
What a shout. Sam?
Is this the dancers we're choosing?
Yeah, you should dance. Yeah, no, you're the dancer, your celebrity partner.
Oh, right. I don't think, just given what year we're in, what stage of his career is in, I don't think Jimmy Anderson will be out of the question.
Ooh.
Shout.
Yeah.
Put you right off your dancing though, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. I'd be lost in his eyes.
Knock you for 6.
Hey! Warren?
Oh, God, I don't know what. Who would I go for? I'd probably have to be someone involved in sport, wouldn't it? Because you'd think the athletic thing about them and the competitiveness. Oh God, I don't know what. I didn't see this question beforehand, so I haven't given it a lot of thought. Let's just go with. I'm trying to think of someone. Leah Williamson. There you go. First person thought of. Plays for Arsenal. We are. Who's the Everton player? Just retired.
Tony
Women's
Duggan.
Player. Tony Duggan. There you go. Go with Tony Duggan.
Fair enough. Mine's Nicola Roberts because girls allowed are great. Final one from. Oh, hold on, no. Oh, God, I've balls up the questions here. That was Stu's question.
That was the last one.
Yeah. Quick, just a simple yes or no for Gary. Is it acceptable to take your own personalised glass on holiday to an all-inclusive hotel? Whatever makes you happy for me. Yeah.
It's a bit partridge big for me.
Sam?
I think it's good value because you only get pissy little glasses on all-inclusive, don't you? So
what if your glass?
What if you tankard and demanding champagne? I think that's nice.
If your glass is this, you're allowed to take it on holiday.
Warren is showing his blue room glass that he got in the States. It's incredible. And do you know what I'm going to say? Yeah, because I have always fancied having my own tinted in a pub, but I've never had a local that's local enough to do it. Yeah. Final question from Foxy, an old classic, which I think I asked first time round years ago. So he said, no apologies for an oldie stolen question. Would you rather have a hand made of ham that would replenish when you eat so that you're never hungry, or an armpit that dispenses sun cream so that you are never sunburned? I'm going to add to this. You can also sell the ham from your hand and you can sell the sun cream if you want to make a living off it as well. So I'll just throw that into the mix. Warren?
Sun cream all the time. That time when it gets to about April, May, and usually, we didn't have it last year, but usually the weather starts getting a bit better. The clocks have gone forward. We're getting lighter nights. And that first smell of sun cream after a long, dark winter, and you know summer's coming. If you can dispense that from your armpit, sell it as well, like you've just said. And you can just douse yourself in it, never get burnt, keep your skin moisturised, keep your skin from getting damaged all day. I don't want a minty handful of ham smelling. Nah, not for me. Sun cream every day.
This is why Warren is such a lovely young looking man. He looks after his skin. Sam?
Yeah, we are all meant to wear SPF every day now. It's a moisturiser, isn't it? And some people put it on with their skincare routine. But I'll be honest, my priority here is just avoiding the grotesque body horror of having a hand made of ham. Like that, I mean, that's going to be haunting my dreams for weeks.
I'm picturing this like the middle bit, the palm of your hand is like a gammon, and then your fingers are like rolled up ham you get on like really old like salads that your mum used to do in the 80s.
In what way is that any better? That's worse, if anything.
That's what I'm picturing. I'm quite taken by that image. I'm going for the ham hand. I'm not going to lie. Liam, we'll leave the final shout up to you on this.
I go for the sun cream because a ham's for Christmas, not life. You just go for the sun cream, don't you? Keep that.
And that is an absolutely belter way to end this week's mailbag. I think we got through everyone's questions there. Still got some over from last week, which I'll do at some point. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. Thanks to Warren, thanks to Sam, thanks to Liam for making his debut. That has been a cracking mailbag. Toffees play Leicester tomorrow if you're watching on the Friday. If not, you might already have played them. Who knows? Anyway, up the Toffees.